there may come a time where you need to scale one part of a box. For example, if you add a cylinder, you have the freedom to do that with a cylinder. Let's say we want the cylinder and we want to make it sort of into a cone or almost a cone. You can tap here and then you can adjust it. So this is a very useful trick. Of course, you can also do hole and things like that with the cylinder. So if we want to do that for the box, we have to use a cylinder first. So let's just start from scratch. So I'll just undo what I did with the cylinder. So let's say we want to make this a square. So first, before we validate, just tap these three dots. And you can bring this division X all the way down to 4. So you just make that 4. And it looks weird because of smooth shading. So for some of you, smooth shading might be on by default, or it might be off by default. But when you see something like this, that means that smooth shading is on. So we'll just go here and we'll turn off smooth shading. And then you have a nice box. And you can do the same thing with this one. When you make a square, I have smooth shading on. But when you go here and you turn it off, you can see it's pretty much the same. So now we have a box. The only thing is you have the edge towards you. And usually when you're sculpting, for the most part, anytime I've used this, I don't want the edge pointing towards me. I want it to be just like a regular box. So that's pretty easy. All you have to do is go to the gizmo. So you have this, and then we just need to rotate it 45 degrees. So let's just go to the snap here. So we have it on 90. Let's just tap on it and hit 45. And just so you know, there's two snaps. It's the snap with the angle. So now it's set at 45, so it's only going to adjust 45 degrees. So now it's pointed towards us. Maybe I'll make it a little bit bigger so it matches the other box. So now it's pointed towards us. So it's looking good. So now when we go pivot, center, pivot, it's the same because all we did was rotate it, but we haven't baked it. So if we want to make this just like this square, just go here. And obviously bake isn't showing up because I haven't validated it. So I'm going to validate. So now it's a validated shape, and then we'll bake it. So baking it just means that this is the new reset. So now when we do pivot, center, pivot, then it's going to be exactly the same. Oh, and I forgot to do what I intended to do, like a dum-dum. So I just undid until we got here. And now you can go back to those settings, the cylinder settings, and you can adjust it. So you can make like a, pyramid or whatever you need to make. I think I'm going to make something like this because I want to make like a little tray with something inside of it. So I want to make something like this. Well, you can also do hole too, FYI, I just wanted to show you that. Let's go ahead and validate. And now that we validated, we'll go ahead and bake it. So we'll tap here, the gizmo settings, and bake. And then we'll do pivot, center, pivot. And you'll see that it's the same as the square. And also, since I mentioned that I want to make it a tray, I want to make it a little longer. So I'm going to stretch it a little bit this way. Like that. Maybe a little bit more even. Okay, something like that. We'll go ahead and clone it. We'll move the clone up. Okay, that looks pretty good. Depending on how thick you want the edges. So now we have both of these. I'm going to hide the one that we want to remove, like the area we want to remove. We'll select both of them, and then we'll just hit Boolean, and you say it's really clean because we're not using smooth shading. So it looks very, very clean. So that's just another way to get different shapes. But I'm going to probably do some sort of character where he's in like a tray, because I've been wanting to do these kind of, I've been thinking about using real world like containers and things for 3D prints, something to contain them, whether it be like jars or trays, like a Spam can, a sardine can, just things where 3D prints could live and just do something interesting with those. So that's what I've been thinking about. So it's kind of cool to just make this. That way I can design something to go in it. But anyway, that's all I wanted to show you. Remember, smooth shading doesn't always have to be on. I usually sculpt with it, but when I'm doing like hard surface type things, I usually turn it off. And this is just something that will help you make different shapes. All right, keep drawing, keep sculpting. I'll see you all in the next video.